Hey everyone, I'm Jason, and this is your commentary on Genesis chapter 20. Abraham moved away from there into the Negev desert. He lived between Kadesh and Shur. For a while, he stayed in Gerar. There, Abraham said about his wife Sarah, "She's my sister." Then Abimelech sent for Sarah and took her. He was the king of Gerar. Now, Abimelech isn't exactly a person's name. It's more a title, a lot like Pharaoh. Abimelech was the Philistine version of king. And we find Abraham doing the exact same thing here that he did in Egypt when he said that Sarah was his sister. He feared for his life, or whatever the case may be, wanted to present Sarah as not his wife so they would not kill him. He was reprimanded once before. Let's find out what happens now. God came to Abimelech in a dream one night. He said to him, "You are as good as dead because of the woman you have taken. She is already married." But Abimelech hadn't gone near her. So he said, "Lord, will you destroy a nation that hasn't done anything wrong? Didn't Abraham say to me, 'She's my sister'? And didn't she also say, 'He's my brother'? I had no idea I was doing anything wrong. I'm not guilty." Then God spoke to him in the dream. He said, "Yes, I know you had no idea you were doing anything wrong. So I have kept you from sinning against me. That is why I did not let you touch her." Now, Abimelech here is actually a pagan. So he's not considered a godly man like Abraham is, and yet he is doing what's righteous where Abraham did not. "Now return the man's wife to him. He is a prophet. He will pray for you and you will live. But what if you do not return her? Then you can be sure that you and all your people will die." Early the next morning, Abimelech sent for all of his officials. He told them everything that had happened. They were really afraid. So God calls Abraham here a prophet. And to an extent, anyone who's a believer in Jesus, in God, is also a prophet. A prophet was just someone who spoke the words of God. It doesn't mean that we're perfect. And unfortunately, as is evident here, sometimes we are far from perfect. But it's the relationship and it's God's grace that allows us to be considered a prophet. Then Abimelech called Abraham in. He said, "What have you done to us? Have I done something wrong to you? Why have you brought so much guilt on me and my kingdom? You have done things to me that shouldn't be done." Abimelech also asked Abraham, "Why did you do this?" Abraham replied, "I thought, there isn't any respect for God in this place at all. They will kill me because of my wife. Besides, she really is my sister. She's the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother, and she became my wife. God had me wander away from my father's house, so I said to her, 'Here is how you can show your love to me. Everywhere we go, say about me, he's my brother.'" So Abraham actually gets to the point where he's not taking responsibility, and that's how he keeps repeating the same sin over and over again. He even goes so as far as to say, "God had me wander away from my father's house," as if it's God's fault that Abraham keeps lying. Then Abimelech gave Abraham sheep and cattle and male and female slaves. He also returned his wife Sarah to him. Abimelech said, "Here is my land. Live anywhere you want to." He said to Sarah, "I'm giving your brother 25 pounds of silver. It'll take care of the problem we caused you, and all those who are with you will know that you aren't guilty of doing anything wrong." Then Abraham prayed to God, and God healed Abimelech. He also healed his wife and his female slaves, so they could have children again. The Lord had kept the women in Abimelech's house from having children. He had done it because of Abraham's wife Sarah. Okay, so I know what you're thinking, right? Like, Abraham, come on, man. What are you doing? He keeps falling for the same sins. And it's easy for us, since we're removed from the story, to say, "Abraham, why are you doing this again?" But you got to realize we're the same way. We have our own sins that we're constantly struggling with. And even if we've been redeemed and we're saved from the eternal consequences of our sin, that doesn't mean that we're going to be perfect from here on out. We're going to struggle. We're going to have to get through. The redemption here is that God can still bless people through us as long as we keep going back to Him. God wants us to be His prophet. He wants us to speak His words on His behalf. in spite of all the faults and errors that we have. Okay, well that is it for Genesis chapter 20. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time.